It has already started. 5 major innovation platforms evolving at the same time. In a broad sense, we have never been like this moment in history in terms of the amount of change that is it's already started. We feel the ground, as you just said, shifting underneath us. It has already started. 5 major innovation platforms evolving at the same time. You have to go back to the early 1900s to see anything like it. You had 3 platforms then. You had telephone, electricity, and automobile. Today you have DNA sequencing. You heard it on the conference, DNA sequencing, robotics, energy storage, artificial intelligence, blockchain technologies. All of them are in exponential growth trajectories, and they are converging with one another in massively important ways and profound ways. And they're going to deliver, we believe, if you just take a look at the technologies themselves, over the next 10 years, we believe the market cap associated with these 5 platforms and the 14 underlying technologies is going to scale at a 30% compound annual rate of return. These are astonishing rates of return. And if you're a good stock picker, you'll probably do even better than that if you're focused only on innovation. And we can add another wrinkle here, part of our research, which we talked about during the conference, which is, with the way the electrical grid is evolving, we could see Bitcoin mining become a part of that infrastructure, so that here in St. Petersburg, for example, we fill up our energy storage units quite easily because it's so sunny here. The overflow could go to Bitcoin mining, which would accelerate the shift towards renewables, because the whole ecosystem will become so much more profitable over time. In Big Ideas, we describe this by using the term revolutions. There are 3 revolutions taking place simultaneously right now. One is a money revolution. One is a financial services revolution. And one is a next generation internet revolution. Right. So on the money revolution, Bitcoin and Ether to some extent, but Bitcoin, surely it is the most secure network out there, is the first, and each one of these words is really important. The first global, private, decentralized monetary system ever invented. And it is going to have profound ramifications. Just ask the people in El Salvador. And recently, President Bukele of El Salvador had a conversation with President Erdogan of Turkey because they are going through a currency crisis. And so I think the emerging markets are going to adopt this kind of monetary system increasingly, because their own monetary systems, very dependent often on the dollar or on the euro or someone else who does not control the population. They would prefer not to be dependent on politicians. This doesn't involve politicians. So that's the monetary revolution. And we think that it's going to proliferate faster. Emerging markets are very interested. Except for China, of course. They're interested in making the digital yuan right. the reserve currency of Asia. And that's fully controlled by people. What I'm discussing is not. The second revolution is in the financial services industry. We do believe that DeFi, decentralized finance, is going to usurp the role of most financial services companies today. Most financial services companies are middlemen. And DeFi takes the middlemen out of the equation. In the early days, some of your viewers may know of Lending Club, and it took some middlemen out of the equation. Was able to offer higher rates to savers and lower rates to borrowers, and became very, very popular very quickly. Well, put that on steroids. That's what we have going on in DeFi. And again, it's a global movement. All of these are global. They are not They're not being governed by any particular nationality. Now, regulators are now turning their sights on
Yes.
DeFi pretty aggressively. You saw in the chart how, at least once a month, twice a month, in the last year, a regulator somewhere around the world has said, "Hey, we've got to investigate this," and that's not a bad thing. I think in the United States, my observation is that regulators want to protect the little guy, the average investor. That's their mandate, and that's good. Prevent frauds and other such things. Uh, and and yet I also found regulators not wanting to be blamed for preventing, at least here in the U.S., from participating in the next big thing, the next big internet. We have an ethos of innovation in this country. Interestingly, even though it seems today that investors are running away from it, it's kind of the opposite of the tech and telecom bubble when they were falling all over themselves. That was a dream. This is the reality, and they're running away. Uh, but regulators want to encourage innovation. So I think putting guardrails around is going to be a good thing for everyone. So that's the second. And I don't mean just saving and lending. I mean the full spectrum of financial services, almost anything out there. And then the third revolution is the next generation internet revolution, and that it does include NFTs. And the way we like to describe NFTs is, again, first, global, another big word, uh, private, rules-based property rights system. So scarce and verifiable. Now, uh, anyone who has read economic history knows the key to lifting countries and people out of poverty is to put in place a property rights system that is secure and verifiable and protected. So we think this is a very big idea. A lot of people think the benefits will accrue to the creator community. We love that idea, the creator community, and it isn't just art, right? And gaming, and it's music. We're going to find out how creative people are as the NFT revolution evolves.